back to the IRS. Can't get away from it. Very important subject. Americans for Tax Reform, Grover Norquist is here. All right, Grover, as you may have heard, Monica Crowley said on this program that in her mind, the IRS scandal is the most dangerous in American history. What do you say to that?
Well, if you think back to some of the famous scandals in American history, Teapot Dome, some people had a contract and they made a few bucks at the expense of taxpayers. Not good, but sort of one-time hit, doesn't interfere with anybody's fundamental freedoms. I mean, you should put them in prison for it. The break-in at Watergate, we're not FBI agents, not IRS agents. They were thugs, criminals who broke in and shouldn't have stolen stuff. But again, the power of the state wasn't used to enforce it, didn't have the imprimatur. They didn't have 25 agencies going after their political enemies as they did with the True to Vote effort. So it's a more dangerous scandal because it's the government apparatus which has endless resources, endless amounts of money.
But at the moment, Grover, we don't know whether it was a group of IRS people within the agency off their own bat who went and did this, or whether they were ordered or it was suggested by the campaign or the White House. A direct link between those two groups has not been established. And until there is, this whole scandal probably won't blow apart as some people might expect.
Well, two things. One, there is a direct link between left-wing Democratic members of Congress and the Senate sending them letters and meeting with them saying, go harass these people. So from the Democrats, we know they were asking the IRS to take this abuse. Second, when it came forward, the president didn't fire everybody responsible. The president made no effort to get the facts, and the president participated through his administration and through his appointees in the cover-up, which has now been exposed partially, not completely, but we know enough to know that real crimes were committed, that Lois Lerner interrupted and got in the way of the way you're supposed to protect people's rights when the IRS makes these audits or not audit decisions. She stepped in and politicized those in violation of the rules. That the president protected this, that the president poo-poos it, that the Justice Department is not all over this, that is a widespread participation. But as Mary said earlier, the idea of a bureaucracy with its own interests running amok, even if the president was sort of unaware of it, now the IRS kept going to the White House. I don't know what they were doing at the White House, hundreds of meetings. And the White House hasn't been very forthcoming about what happened at those meetings. But that said, an agency itself off doing things, that's very, very dangerous. This is, 2001. The computer goes crazy. It's still scary.
I've got 20 seconds, Grover, and I've got a fairly simple question here. Do you think that the IRS scandal has legs and will negatively affect the Democrats in this year's election? And do you also think that the departure of Kathleen Sebelius will give new impetus to the Republicans going forward on Obamacare to the election?
Yes, because among other things, we're going to actually have a hearing about the new person coming in. We can ask some real questions about what's going on over at the Department of HHS with Obamacare. And yes, this issue is going to be very important. Independent voters who could go either way are not happy with an IRS run amok and a Democratic Party that either encourages them or couldn't care less.
Grover Norquist, thanks for joining us. As always, Grover, good stuff.
Hey, good to be with you.